Alright guys, here is my quick and easy Genshin Impact build guide for Chiori. Chiori is our newest Geo sword user that's pretty similar to Albedo, so she plays more of like a sub DPS role, and I've been having a lot of fun with her. Her mechanics are a little different, and I think that's the reason why people call her to be like a better version of Albedo, because one, her little doll things don't really stay on the floor and doesn't get destroyed as much. Compared to Albedo, where the main problem that I always had with Albedo is that when you put it on the floor, sometimes if you're fighting a boss, it just gets destroyed. Chiori doesn't have that problem. For weapons, obviously the Uraku Misugiri is her best in-slot weapon, and the effect for this weapon is just tailor-made for Chiori, so this is definitely the must pick. If you're looking for 5-star alternatives, according to theory crafters, the Primordial Jade Cutter is the next best weapon. Personally, I have not tested this because I do have the Uraku Misugiri, but considering it has a crit rate, second stat, as well as an additional damage buff based on your max HP, this one seems to be a good pick for her. For other 4-star alternatives, you can use the Cinnabar Spindle, which is Albedo's signature weapon. So if you were able to get that on the event, but you weren't able to get an Albedo, you can definitely pick that one. If you have the Battle Pass weapon, you can also pick the Wolf Fang. It's a pretty good weapon for Chiori as well. And I think the best baseline free-to-play weapon for Chiori is just the Harbinger of Dawn. The only catch is you gotta keep her HP at over 90%, which could be difficult if you don't have a shielder and limits you from using Farina in your teams, because then you won't have 90% HP. So it is good, but with a little bit of caveat. For artifacts, the 4-piece Golden Troop is considered her best set due to Farina's elemental skill being the bulk of her damage. So having her cast her elemental skill and then just being off field is the best way to play her, especially at C0, which is what makes this artifact the best set. It is closely trailed by the Geo set, which is the 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams. It performs slightly worse than the 4-piece Golden Troop, but it may depend on your substats, so you should test it yourself, because the 4-piece Husk of Opulent Dreams could perform better for you if you have better substats compared to the Golden Troop. Obviously, if you're still building sets, you can make 2-piece mixes of Golden Troop, Archaic Petra, or Husk of Opulent Dreams. Since Chiori also scales off of attack, but not as much as def, attack sets can also work, but yeah, you should work towards getting Golden Troop or Husk of Opulent Dreams. For artifact main stats, I would go with Defense Sands, Geo Damage Goblet, and Crit Rate or Crit Damage Circlet, depending on what you need. Since Chiori still scales higher on defense compared to attack, even if she has split scaling, prioritize defense percentage when you can. For constellations, if you're not going for C6, C2 would be a good stopping point, as it adds a different doll type, which is created when she casts her Elemental Burst, having you an additional source of damage. Since Chiori scales from both defense and attack, it is imperative that you put her on level 90. So unlike my other characters that I just put on level 81 and just ascend them and then just stay at level 81, Chiori will have to be raised up to level 90. So she, because every time you level up, you get attack and defense stats. So level 90 is the way to go. Next after that, you should raise her elemental skill. And then lastly, her burst. Her normal attack isn't really suggested unless you are C6 Chiori, where her normal attack gets a significant boost, and then that's the time where she actually becomes an auto-attacking DPS. But for C0 enjoyers like me, normal attack can be just level 1. For teams, here are my personal favorites. You can always run a Chiori, Zhongli, Goro, and Ito team. This is probably my favorite team due to the fact that they all kind of play well with each other, with Goro giving defense and geo damage to both Chiori and Ito, while Zhongli provides defense in form of a shield. You don't have a healer, but it actually works pretty fine, and this team deals massive damage. We tested this in the Abyss too. You can test different variations of the Mono Geo team as well. You can do a Chiori, Goro, Albedo, Noel team because they all scale off of defense, and that pretty much makes Goro invaluable into the team. And then Noel can take up all the space of being the main on-field character, while Chiori and Albedo can just sit in the back and just deal damage. This one I actually do like as well. This is a Chiori, Albedo, Furina Kokomi team. The thing is, Furina is kind of difficult to slot without a healer because she does need that team-wide heal in order for her burst to build up fanfare stacks. So I like putting Kokomi as the main DPS character, with Furina, Chiori, and Albedo being sub-DPS. They just all do their thing and deal damage, and then Kokomi, when her burst is up, obviously heals everybody, and that builds fanfare, and at the same time, she's a pretty strong DPS to begin with, even though she's not a pure DPS. She's we all know Kokomi is a healer, but her burst actually still deals a lot of damage even if it doesn't crit. So I do like using this team as well. And that is it for the Chiori video. Hope you like this one. Don't forget to like, share, follow, and subscribe. You know the deal. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.